Samuel, what's up?
Gregory, what's up, man? Man, that is some of the sickest music in the game. Let me tell you.
Yeah, we try
Well,
to we try to change it
that
up a little bit, man.
that open, I like the first open. I like the second open. I'm liking this open. You
Yeah,
just
man, it's good
you just
stuff.
doing it
You gotta
right.
cover a little hip hop, a little country, little
Yeah,
all
yeah,
across
yeah. It's
the spectrum,
all
man.
across the motion sports empire.
Yeah, man, dude. I'll be honest with you, man. There's not a lot going on in the sports world this weekend. I mean, he had a race or two and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But dude, I think tonight, man, we're gonna get into some good stuff. First of
Mhm.
all, I made it down to Florida. Went from South Carolina to Florida, and here I am in Leesburg, Florida, man, out on the Harris chain. So big tournament coming up here in a couple weeks. Going to be spending pretty much a month and a half in Florida, man. So I'm not
Again,
upset about that.
didn't you just get home from Florida?
I did,
Or,
yeah.
or, or, or maybe you were back home in Florida. Which one is it? If you're in
I'm
Florida, if
back
you're in
home.
Florida more than you're in Virginia, that's going to make Virginia
That's
or
home.
Florida home. Yeah,
Yeah, it's home.
uh,
It's home for sure. So
right.
anyway, I'm excited to be in Florida again, man. It was cold, it was rainy, it was typical crap that I had to deal with this weekend in South Carolina. So I'm glad I could bring it with me. But anyway, dude. So listen tonight, man. I think we're gonna get into some good stuff, man. My favorite time of the year, dude. It's almost March Madness, man. This is the last day of February. Tomorrow's March, which means March Madness, and man, we're gonna kind of do a little bracket breakdown. What do you say, man?
Go for it. Let's do it.
I think so, man. I think we're getting ready to talk, man. So
This is
if you were to give me your
Go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead.
You do your thing. I can bring my comment in here when you ask me to.
All right, so we all know top seed Gonzaga, right? It's going to take, once again, they have 3 losses of the season. They're 24-3. They're going to take the top seed of the entire bracket, man. They're going to be number 1. They're going to be out west, out probably San Francisco region. But who do you think would be filling the other 3 spots, man?
All right. If you just go and look at your AP top 4, Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Duke, you'd say easy enough. There's your 1 through 4. The ACC is not doing well this year. Duke, as a number 1 seed, I can see it today, yes, but they still have to finish out this season, and then you're going to have the ACC tournament. Duke will not win out this season and win out through the tournament. I can almost guarantee it. So I'm going to take them away as a number 1 seed.
I like that.
Baylor, again, Gonzaga, Arizona. I like those 2. Then
Arizona, yes.
Then I'll give you whoever comes out of winning the Big 12 and whoever wins the SEC,
which is Kansas and Auburn.
Baylor, Baylor and Kansas are going to fight it out for the Big 12.
I think Kansas. Yeah, so I agree. So Gonzaga, Arizona, Auburn, Kansas. I think they get the number 1 seeds. Duke falls to 2, and I'll tell you who's off the rails right now is Michigan. My God, I mean they're freaking. I don't even know if they're going to make the tournament, for God's sake. I mean they're off the rails, dude.
That is the definition of dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is, man. So, I'm looking at it. I think there's some teams that are rising. You've got Ohio State that's looking really good. You got Miami. Miami's actually coming out of the ACC looking hot. I think they're going to probably wind up going maybe second, third in the ACC. They're on a hot streak. Jim Larinaga got that team going, dude.
This is when you want to get hot. Your season's coming to an end. It's going to be tournament season. This is when you want to get hot.
Yep. Another hot team right now, dude, is Tennessee. Tennessee could capture the 2 spot, I think, ahead of Baylor. It's going to be close between Kansas and Baylor. If Kansas Baylor finishes out in the Big 12 championship, then I think Baylor or the let me say loser of that game will get a 2 seed, right? You think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're saying Kansas, Baylor. Whoever wins is going to be a number 1, and your loser's a number 2 seed. I mean, that's easy enough.
Another
Um,
floundering team, dude, out of the ACC is UNC, man. North Carolina, dude.
that's
Old
that's
Blue
that's
is not doing well, man.
no. That's a sad sad thing to see. When you talk about um, rivalries, biggest rivalries in sports, um, it's always Oakland, Kansas City,
Yo,
Oakland,
Robert. Yo,
uh,
Clifton. What's up, boy?
um, um, uh, uh, you know, Dallas, Washington was a big rivalry for a long time. The Red Sox, the Yankees, these kind of things like Duke, UNC,
Yeah.
and I always I've been a Duke fan
Tobacco Road.
since
They're only,
right
like what, 12
eight
miles from the
right.
campus.
I've always
Hmm.
been a Duke fan since I started watching college basketball, and in my opinion, what makes that Duke Carolina rivalry the biggest is I don't want Carolina to lose a lot. I don't want them to lose often. I want Carolina to lose 4 times a year. Twice when they play Duke, in the ACC tournament when they lose to Duke, and then the NCAA tournament when they lose to Duke.
Yeah.
That's so that and there's a respect among those two teams too. So a down UNC team is bad for college basketball as a whole.
It is. But so obviously we know this is Mike Krzyzewski's last year. They'll, let's lead them off on our shoulders as a winner. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Duke's going to be early bounced. Again, they're
Yeah,
going to probably get a two seed, maybe 3 seed. I don't, depending how they do the ACC, tournament. But UNC, dude, they're on the verge. If they lose the first or second round in the ACC tournament, dude, they might not be in the tournament.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
double digits right now as they stand. Like if they're in the tournament as a whole, they're double digits. They're probably going to be like a 12 seed, maybe. They'll have a 5-12 matchup.
As we speak,
But
they're
I mean,
trailing Syracuse at home, and in Chapel Hill.
there you go, man. I mean, they have got to, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain, man. I mean, Duke is obviously winning the recruiting game. That tide might shift, after
I absolutely think it will. I
Yeah.
100% believe it will.
But again, here's the deal. Let me say this, man. I'm gonna make this bold statement. Deion Sanders, I think, is gonna change college sports forever. I think Deion Sanders, with what he is doing and bringing 5-star talent to small schools, knowing the fact that ESPN and all these other teams or other networks are going to cover that team just solely because of Deion Sanders, they're going to get the TV time. You don't have to go to a big school. Look where Steph Curry came from. Come from Davidson, right?
Right.
These 5-star athletes don't have to go to these big name schools, man.
You see that a ton in college basketball.
Yes.
It used to be the Cinderella story, making it to the Sweet 16 round, occasionally the Elite Eight. Now you see these Cinderellas almost year in, year out, going to the Final Four, going to championships. And that's something that has really changed in the last 15, 20 years now with the one and dones. And Dukes and Kansas and Kentucky's, yes, they want to get these great players, and they'll have them for that 1 year. But you have a St. Mary's and a Gonzaga that they're going to recruit very, very, very quality athletes, and they're going to have them there for 4 years. They're going to build a team. They're going to be something great for over that time frame.
Yeah,
and they can take these teams easily.
Those teams might have 1 or 2 guys ready for the NBA in their junior year, but I mean they're consistently going to have these kids grow up, as a freshman, through sophomore, junior, senior. And you're right. I mean they're going to benefit from the senior class to be able to play.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And again maybe send 1 or 2 guys to the NBA. I don't know. I mean, and the NBA is so competitive, and I agree with Clifton. I think the NBA does need to get these kids who are qualified to be able to play in the NBA to the NBA. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? It's not like, again, like we talked about, it's not like football. You can't penalize these kids for not being able to make a living when they turn 18. If they're old enough to go fight for our country, they should be old enough to go play basketball. You know what I mean? Make decisions on themselves. So anyway, that's
I
neither
don't.
here nor there.
I don't like the one and done thing. I like it more how college football has it. That is it still the 3 years after your graduating class, your high school graduating class, before you can go to the pros. I like that a little bit more than the idea of this one and done thing that the NCAA basketball allows to go on.
Adam Morrison was trash in the NBA, dude. He was trash.
Right.
He was
And,
good.
and that's
So good at Gonzaga. So good.
And like Cliff says, they need a little bit more seasoning. They need a little more development. Maybe
Adam Morrison needed to fill out that mustache before he went to the NBA, man.
Yeah.
I mean
What about
that was the weakest stash in the world, man. He was
what about straight from college to the pros, Kwame Brown, when he came to the Wizards, and
sorry.
I think he scored like a total of 96 points in his entire NBA career.
We could not get rid of him quick enough, man.
No.
Bad.
Yeah. That was terrible.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the last ones.
So some teams that, I kind of talk about. So obviously Auburn, we think that's going to get out of the SEC. I think the 2 seed that you're going to see in that area is probably going to want to be in Purdue. Purdue is a team that I'll be honest with, I don't want to face anywhere in the tournament, man.
Yep.
This they were number 1, earlier in the season. They took a couple losses, but dude, they're starting to get healthy back. Purdue's nasty. I mean, they are freaking nasty, dude. And they're probably going to wind up playing in Indiana, Indianapolis, the region. And if they do, they're sweeping that bracket. They're going to probably wind up facing, the top teams in the bracket. And here's the deal: like I'm kind of like doing this like bracket thing, and I think that there's a team that scares me too, dude. Is UCLA? UCLA looks like old at UCLA.
Yeah,
and bringing the fire out of Los Angeles, man. I like this team in this bracket, man.
When I'm looking at teams to fill out my bracket, and who do I like? Who am I going to ride? Who do I think is going to avoid an upset? I'm looking at your quality conferences and your quality teams, like a UCLA and like a Purdue, like you just mentioned there. You don't see Kansas bowing out.
If you're a gambler, dude, like throw some dollars on Purdue, man, like right now to win the national championship. They could do it. No joke. Because I think the number ones, this year the number ones, it will not be a chalk bracket. I don't think there's enough talent. Gonzaga, they have the talent probably getting through the bracket, dude. But like all the other number ones are suspect. Like Auburn, Arizona. I wouldn't touch Arizona with a 10-foot pole.
I think you could see maybe 5 easily. I think you could easily see only 5 of your 1-2 seeds make it out of the first weekend. I think that you could see some big time upsets. I mean, we've seen it for years now.
5 out of 8. I
mean, a minimum 3 of your top 2 seeds are going to go down on the first weekend.
I agree with that, dude. I mean, well, I don't know about the first weekend because that's a 116, 215. I think after the 32, I think the second round.
Right. That's what I'm saying. First weekend. I mean, you see 2s get taken out by 15s. Again, not regularly, but it can happen. And in the second round, when you're a number 1 seed and you have to play that the winner of the 8-9 game, they have to give you your best shot, their best shot.
Right on. Another team had big wins, man, is Arkansas at home against Auburn. They beat them, and then Alabama has been you don't know what team is going to come on the court without Alabama. So those guys are out of the SEC, man. The SEC was bloody. The SEC was bloody in college basketball, man. They literally, it's like kind of like football, man. They were beating the tar out of each other all season long, man. But this especially the SEC South or the West, really, man, it's fun to watch, man. I cannot wait to see this particular matchup.
For a long time, I poo-pooed on SEC basketball, but things are happening now. And Kentucky was your SEC power. I never really considered them an SEC team. I don't know why, because they were just head and shoulders above the rest of that conference. But
Yeah.
the conference is kind of catching up, and like you said, they've changed this style of play to where they are going to beat people up and play a tough game. That's not a game that you want to come and play come tournament time. It's not a team you want to play against. A team who's seasoned in that and is going to bring that to you.
So Sam, check this out. Look, man, the SEC. I think all these are single-digit rankings. Okay, you got Auburn, Alabama, Arkansas, LSU, and LSU. Yeah, so yeah, those four teams: Auburn, Arkansas, Alabama, and LSU, all could be. I think we obviously we're forgetting Kentucky.
Okay,
Kentucky is the 2 seed.
give me your teams there again. You're saying Auburn,
Auburn,
Alabama.
LSU, Kentucky, Arkansas. There's another one.
I'm just giving a quick scan here. Here's Auburn 5, Kentucky 6, Auburn 5, Kentucky 7. Tennessee's 13. Arkansas's tied at 14.
Tennessee's another one that's going to be single digits.
Right. Here we go. Is Alabama sitting at 25? LSU is sitting here. Others receiving votes, and I like an SEC
LSU
team making
worst,
some
LSU at
noise.
worst is going to be an 8 seed. LSU at worst is going to be an 8 seed.
Yeah, and that conference as a whole is going to make noise. I will guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's 6 schools out of the SEC that is going to make some noise in this bracket, man.
Yeah. So when you see them, let's say Tennessee's sitting in your 5-12 matchup, okay? And
so Clifton, hold on, Sam. Clifton. I went to George Mason University, the king of low seeds, man. The 11 seed going through that bracket. I was there. I was at the Final Four, man. It was amazing.
That's what I said. It's Mason kind of started it, and then since Mason almost really broke the ice there of your lower seed teams making the Final Four. You see it happen a lot more, and that's why a school like Davidson got where they did. Is because they could recruit that talent. There's people who are going to stay there for 4 years and in a good coaching system, and that's what was happening in at Mason, and just down the road from us in VCU, the same thing went on. But they couldn't. Right. They in the end they couldn't keep those coaches, and so you can't build something great for over
exactly.
a period of
All
time.
Right. So let's go over the Power 5 conferences, man. Let's kind of pick the winners of each conference going through these tournaments, man. Let's go ahead and start with the almighty ACC. I didn't say SEC. ACC in college basketball. Who wins it outright?
I've already said I don't like Duke there. I don't like Duke to win out the whole time. You know what? I think the ACC is going to be Duke. I think that's where they're going to give Coach K his glory. He's going to cut the nets down at the ACC tournament one last time, and then I'll give Duke 2 wins in the tournament. So I'll give the SEC or ACC to Duke. What do you got?
Okay, I got a surprise pick. I think Miami comes out of it, man. I mean, I do. I think Duke gets beat. I like Miami, man. I don't know why. I mean, maybe since Jim Larinaga is near and dear to my heart, I like Miami. I don't know, man. I mean, look, obviously Duke's a great team, but I've seen some very sloppy play out of Duke, dude. And Duke just doesn't seem to really get it together a lot during the ACC tournament. And then when they get bounced out of the ACC tournament, they usually have a good, championship tournament. You know what I mean? And so they make a good championship run. I think they're looking for bigger and better things. Winning the ACC is not high on the list, I don't think, for Duke. I mean, it could be, but they're going to be a 2 or 3 seed no matter what. I think they may rest their players, especially in the beginning of the ACC tournament, dude. But look out for Miami, man. I think they're going to wind up doing some damage.
I can't say that Miami's a bad team, but like I said, it's this is where Coach K is going to get his celebration, and it's going to be in the ACC tournament, not the NCAA tournament.
Dwight says Miami can't get out of her paper bag. Yeah, that's right.
So,
He's a Duke lover. Dwight's a Duke lover, man. So he's Mr. Too bad he can't put on a freaking basketball shirt to save his life. He's got this Duke basketball jersey. He can't even wear it. So anyway, all right. So anyway, ACC. All right. We say Duke. You say Duke. I say Miami. All right. Let's go to the SEC, man. The SEC. We battled this back and forth, man. Dude, I don't know who's going to come out of this, man. I have no clue. Man, I mean, the SEC championship. You have Kentucky out of the East, probably Auburn out of the West. I say maybe. I think Auburn takes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. This thing that's been going on in Auburn has been building for a few years, and I think that this is where they're reaching their peak. And I think that Auburn's gonna win the SEC here this year.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go Big Ten, man.
Big Ten. That's where your Purdue Boilermakers are.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to Ohio State and Purdue.
Something funny is we're sitting and talking about this. I'm looking at some of the records, and maybe it's because of a down ACC. Duke has 2 wins in 2 games against AP or against top 25 rated teams. They've only played 2 teams. Wisconsin has played 7. Purdue has played 6 or 7, depending on which poll you're looking at. Illinois has played 7. Ohio State played 7. Iowa's played 6. These teams are tougher, more seasoned. These conferences that are this year much better than the ACC, which is
Right, says
very
Illinois.
Very strange.
Actually, Illinois is good.
Illinois is not. That's not a bad school to go with.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I'm going to go with Wisconsin there out of the
Wisconsin. Wow.
Yeah. That's another school that has just kind of always been hanging around. They don't seem to have terrible years. Wisconsin is always a top 5 seed. It seems like.
Right. Well, exactly. So I'm going to go Purdue just because I think Purdue's, like you said, man. I mean, they're a season team, and I just think they're going to, see what happens. Hey, you know what? We forgot to talk about this. There's some schools that might come to this bracket. The old lovely, the Big East, man. The Big East is got some schools in here, man.
The beast is back. Yeah.
They are. I mean, Villanova tops the Big East, of course. You've got teams like Providence and
UConn,
Xavier,
both ranked.
Yeah, UConn.
Yeah.
Xavier,
and this is one of those tournaments that seems like you always have some of your lower seeds win, and I mean there's not bad teams in here. Well, Georgetown's there.
Well, look, Villanova. Yeah, hold on. Georgetown's terrible. Yeah. Villanova, Xavier, Providence, and UConn are going to be single seeds, man. Single-digit seeds.
Yep. Seton Hall is 18-9. Marquette 18-10.
They'll be a 9 seed, maybe.
I can see you can see 9-10s, maybe an 11. In that realm, it just depends on how much Big East love.
Isn't Rutgers in there too? Rutgers is in the Big East, right?
No, Rutgers was a Big East. They are in the Big Ten because they fit right in with Michigan, Michigan State. Right. Michigan State, Ohio State. You think New Jersey when you think that. I know. It's
yeah. Well, Michigan. Yeah, I know. It's like West Virginia going out to the Big Ten. Or Big 12. That
Big
makes
12.
No sense.
That's a bummer there too.
Yeah. Michigan State, they're gonna just get crushed the first round, man. I mean, Michigan State's a joke.
I think they need to bring some stuff back in a couple of years. But
let's talk about so who comes out of the Big East, man? I mean, does Villanova come out of their tournament?
Yeah, I think it's Villanova's
I
tournament.
think it's UConn.
You like UConn there?
I like
yeah,
UConn.
but as I'm looking, this Providence has 3 losses on the season.
Yeah, they're
We're both
good.
we're both overlooking them, and
We are.
one of those losses is a loss to a top 25 team. I mean, there's some good ball being played again in the Big East, and it has come back over the past couple of years. Girl Scout season, Big East. do we have any Do we have any Girl Scout cookies? I'm starving.
I know, man. Oh, dude, what's your
I
favorite Girl Scout cookies, man?
Tagalongs.
Mine's Tagalongs. Mine's chocolate mint, man. You put
Tagalongs.
those chocolate mints in the freezer, it's gonna be good.
Let me tell you what I got, man. A lady who works with my wife. Her daughters are in Girl Scouts. She knows that how much I love the tagalongs. She has a stash of them at her house, and every couple of months, she delivers a couple of boxes to me. I get tagalongs all year long. I ate my last box of tagalongs in January from last year. It was great.
Hey, phenomenal,
Oh, I can't
phenomenal,
love it.
awesome.
I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, let's get back. All right, so Big 12. Let's go talk about the Big 12, man. Obviously, you have your Kansas, right? You have your Baylor. Um, I, I I don't think anybody's going to touch those two, man. We already talked about that. I think those two are the kings of that conference, and I say Kansas takes it, man. Kansas. Bill Self is a great coach. He's got a great team. You got to go Kansas, man.
Um, I'm
Rock
gonna
Jayhawk, man.
I'm gonna go against you there, and I'm gonna take Baylor. Baylor is uh, defending national champions, right? It was Baylor
Yes,
last
they
year.
are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's it's it's not a bad team. Um, it's not a bad program. That's going to be another one that I'm going to hope that Big 12 championship game is Kansas and Baylor, just because I want to see it.
yeah, yeah. Me too. Me too. It's gonna be fun to see. All right. Lastly, man, we go out west. Pac-12, man.
Pac-12 as in football season, you kind of disrespect the Pac-12 because you don't get to see them as much, and a lot of that happens in basketball too. But more basketball, the more basketball gets played on a Saturday, Sunday, where you can get to see these teams. Um, we've already talked about how Arizona isn't lighting the world on fire. Um, I'll take
I
your
like.
UCLA Bruins.
I do too, man. I like
I cannot
Ukla.
believe you in that, and it's again, when you're looking at these things, I always like to root for. I always like to to bet on a a blue blood kind of team, a team who's
Well,
been
that's what
there
I
and
was
knows.
getting ready to
And
ask.
that's UCLA.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you, man. Are we getting back to basketball like we saw in the 90s or on late 80s and 90s? Because you're starting to see the blue bloods take over, right? You're starting to see, UCLA come to fruition. You're still, you have your Dukes. You've
As
got,
much as we're talking down Arizona, I mean, Arizona has been a power basketball school for a long time. And so I mean,
it has been, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
All right, early prediction, man. Who wins the bracket, dude? Who's your pick to win the whole freaking thing? If you were to sit there, it can change. It can change after these championships.
yeah.
But who do you think takes it all? Do you think Gonzaga takes it?
I have rooted for Gonzaga for, I swear, 15 years.
And they have let us down every single year.
And as many times they've been a number one seed. Have they ever? I think they have won one national championship, maybe. Maybe they have.
Yes, I think when they won it 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, it's so I as much as I want to pull for Gonzaga, I can't because I've been burned by them way too many times.
Yeah.
Um, um, man, you want to say, hey, go Kentucky, go Kansas, something like that. It's when you're going to bet a team against the field, those are some good bets. But I just don't have that kind of belief in those programs right now. Um, I like what is going on with Auburn. I like that upstarts. I call them an upstart, but that program, what they've built to be at this point now. Um, and they're ranked in the top four. So it's not really going out on a limb taking them, but I'll take Auburn as an early call. I mean, we're going to pick
Okay,
this again, of course, after conference
we will.
season.
Yeah. Once it all comes out, we'll pick it again for sure. You know, I'm I'm like you, man. Like one of the teams I always like picking is Kansas, but Kansas is known for absolutely getting destroyed in the first couple of rounds. I like this team. I like what Kansas is. I think it's a strong team. I think it. I think the winner comes from the Big Ten this year, and I think it's either going to be Kansas or it's going to be. I'm sorry, not Big Ten, Big 12. It's either going to be Kansas or again we have another repeat with Baylor. I think those two can do it. I already mentioned this early in the show. My kind of like surprise pick, so to speak, not really surprise, but it's gonna be Purdue. I like that team too, man. I think if I think it comes down to Kansas and Purdue, and to me, it's a coin flip, and I pick Kansas.
Um, like like I said, it's not like Kansas plays a bunch of powder puffs all season long. They're playing some quality opponents, and that's the difference in college basketball versus college football. College basketball, you are out there looking to schedule. If you're Kansas, you want to schedule a UNC, Villanova, Kentucky, and the preseason tournaments give you some of these really good matchups there too. Um, College basketball programs don't shy away from going out of conference and scheduling a big boy like they do in football, because one loss in basketball doesn't knock you out of contention as it does in football. So um, I'm not even sure where the question was. I went on my own train of thought and totally forgot your
The question
question.
is, well, no, you had talked to you were commenting on my Kansas or Purdue pick, and so it wasn't really a question.
Okay, okay, yeah. So you have those teams, and they're tough, they're seasoned. Um, but just as soon as I say that, I can see Kansas losing in the second round. Um,
Could
it's easy to and it's what happens when at this time of year. It's like you're always looking at these teams, because we know Kansas, we know Kentucky, we've seen Tennessee play, we've seen the teams from these conferences. What's going on in the Big Sky Conference? What's going on in the MEAC? What's going on? All these conferences, the single bid conferences. Those are the teams that they win one, then they win another. Then you're like, that second weekend, you're like, hey, I get to sit down and watch this team. Oh my gosh, they just went and upset Duke. What's going to happen now? Uh, so it's very, very hard to judge any of those teams. And so I mean, all we're looking at is these power conferences: Big 10, Big 12, Pac 12. But I think you're going to see a mid-major conference. If they don't squeak somebody into the Final Four, they're going to scare somebody who made it to the Final Four. I will guarantee you that this year. Double digit seed in the. Just going to keep talking until Greg gets himself back. As we said at the beginning of the show here, Greg's on the road. He's camping. I've tried to do this stuff while sitting in my camper. Those walls do not like letting Wi-Fi in. So, hey, while we're waiting for Greg to get back, I want to take a second to promote something that I just did put up on our YouTube channel. My first episode of it, I posted for everybody yesterday. I'm calling it the evolution of sports in my lifetime, because as we sat here last week, it was a whole lot of us being
sorry
talking
about that,
about.
guys. If you could hear We're Russian hackers, man.
we can kind of hear you. So you
Are you
left,
there?
so I stole. Yeah, I can hear you, Greg. So yeah, you left, so I started making it all about me. Oh, he still can't hear me, so it's still my time. So as I was saying last week, we were talking a lot about what was going on in sports and how everything has changed so much just in the time that we've been watching sports. So that gave me the idea of this evolution of sports in my lifetime. And so episode 1 was about Major League Baseball and the changes that Major League baseball has gone through just in my lifetime till now. So I want to the series is going to continue. I'm planning on hitting all of your major sports and some wrap up and everybody who's caught it. I hope to get some of your feedback because I don't have all the answers. So I want to take some feedback and probably make a nice show about that too. So Greg, I just while you left, like I said, I wanted to make it all about me. Had to talk about what I premiered last night on our YouTube channel and where I'm planning on going with my anthology here in the future.
It's no by surprise. I kid you not, man. I sent donations to Ukraine today, wired the money out to Ukraine to our family. And the second I do, man, I get Russian hackers in my computer, man. So it's not by surprise, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what, Greg?
It says Russian's part of Scud. Oh my god, it sucks.
I'll tell you, there's some scuds going on in that camper, but it usually happens in the bathroom.
Those are nukes.
So, yeah,
freaking nukes.
Right.
But anyway, dude,
that's chemical warfare. So hey,
Sam, are we gonna get baseball? Are we gonna get baseball this week, man?
No, not this week. We're going to have canceled games. They're going to start canceling games. This is one thing that I hit on my video I put up there last night was the labor issues and especially how the 94-95 strike demolished baseball fandom. And I looked at
it took steroids to have it come back, man.
Just looking at the ratings, at an average of somewhere around 11 million for this past World Series, and if you take baseball away again, it's only going to get worse.
HGTV gets more ratings. Yeah, no, I agree, man, dude. So I mean, straight up, I heard that the talks were very contentious yesterday. In fact, it ended early. They had to walk away from the table. So that's not good, man.
No, it's not.
And that's not going to bring this game back.
No, I believe that they are way far apart. The players want to get younger players paid earlier, get them into arbitration earlier. That is something absolutely that owners don't want to give up. They don't want to give up those very young years of control. 6 years when you're to get into salary arbitration, then you're talking about, I mean, if you make the bigs at 22, you until you're 28, you're under team control. Teams are not going to want to give that up. That's some financial stability that they can count on over that 6 year period.
So, okay, so let's say they come to an agreement come Friday, right? Let's say they get an agreement done, they sign the deal. We're not playing baseball until mid-April at best. So we're going to be losing maybe 15, 20 games.
If I think early on, let's say that they sign that deal Friday. If you take a week away from spring training, heck, we've already lost 2+ weeks now.
Yeah.
So if you take another week away, I think you can just lop off a week of the season. But as you get any further than that, you get to the middle end of March. Then you're talking May 1st before baseball games get played. That's
30 games. That's 30 games.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, then you have 138 games, 132 games that they'll be playing. But you know what they'll do? They'll charge the fan they'll charge the fan a full season ticket price. I
Yeah,
guarantee it.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
teams will come out and
I
try
think they
to
get.
charge the
I think
fans.
sometimes they give them a little something, or they'll give them a signed helmet,
They'll give them free
something like that.
parking.
Yeah,
you
free
know,
parking, so, something along those lines. Um, but it's just, man, it hurts that baseball has done this and is going through this again. And as I was, I made a video for our YouTube channel about it. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn the mic on the whole time I did it. It was a great one. I think you were the only one who
they're
saw
going
it.
to play 6 inning games and hit from a tee. Actually, I would pay to see that, dude.
I would too. That sounds fun.
T-ball 6 innings.
Six,
That absolutely
six
sounds
innings
great.
of or what are the coaches pitch? That'd be good too. Coaches pitch.
Right. Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
way catchers don't have to wear equipment. That would be awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean,
But,
heck, they're doing
right,
they're
so
doing so much radical stuff to the game. Let's play 6 inning games and hit off a tee.
All right, so let's talk about I know baseball's not here, but I love baseball, man. This is my time. Spring is in the air, man. Trey Turner, does he stay in with the Dodgers? Yes or no?
I'd have to look at who really needs. I mean, anybody could take a player like Trey Turner. I don't think I see him staying in Los Angeles. A place where I would like him, and I don't know if
back with the Nationals.
Oh, of course, I'd love him to be back in the Nationals. He was one of my favorite players when he was here. Dwight, hey, the Mets, not a bad call. The Phillies, teaming up with Harper again. You could plug him anywhere. Not knowing what the Astros are like in the infield. How'd you like to see Trey Turner down there in Houston playing with that Astros team? Nope. Is Greg froze again? I don't know. You know what? Every time Greg freezes, I'm going to start telling embarrassing stories about him. There was one time where he peed on railroad tracks. We were drinking a lot, but that's I can't. Nope, he's back. Maybe he didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, man. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Excellent.
I don't know what's going on.
I know how rough it is. I'm trying.
To Florida, with a large number of people, would have freaking internet service.
Yeah, no, it doesn't like getting through those camper walls, man. I don't know what it is.
It's terrible. But so yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, man. It's hard to tell where he.
It's hard to tell where he goes. Yeah, I get you, man. He's. I would put him. Now he's still with the Dodgers, I believe, this year, but he is going to be the top of the free agent class. He's definitely going to be signing himself $300 million worth of a deal. Especially because as much as I am on the owner's side and I don't want to see them have to commit this much more money to this many more players over this long of a period, I think the owners always end up losing out in these things. The players in most of the labor strife through baseball history, the owners have ended up winning out, or I'm sorry, the players have ended up beating out the owners through these labor negotiations. I think it's going to happen again, and I really believe that you're going to see $300 million contracts really become the norm, and Trey Turner's going to he's going to score over 30 there for sure. I can't think this is something that really is hurting baseball. You've taken your attention away, and as soon as we get through, well, tomorrow's March 1st. We're in a March Madness, so it's going to be that's the March Madness season, and that's going to take us through the month of March. Then once March is over, that's when baseball is supposed to be starting. It's the hope springs eternal, and if you bring out the boys of summer, all these things. When you get there, you're going to have the NHL and NBA playoffs starting to ramp up. But when you start to see baseball on TV again. When you start to get to go back to games, you realize that, hey, summer's right around the corner. We've almost beat winter. We're there. We've got baseball with us. I I, I always love that time of year, but it's really fallen down in my interest levels. I will watch a whole lot more NHL playoffs. I'll watch a whole lot more NBA uh, playoffs. Uh, the NFL draft has gone and situated themselves right there at the beginning of football season. It's they do things. Baseball is doing things to hurt themselves, and this labor dispute again is one of those things to hurt themselves. And unfortunately, when I say that players are going to get this money, they're going to get this money, but it's going to end up costing fans. It's going to cost in attendance. It's going to cost in ratings, which is in turn going to cost in advertising revenues. So the only place to make that up is the gate and the concessions. Hope you like $25 beers and $18 hot dogs because that's what it's going to be in about 2 or 3 years here now. So I see Greg here. Oh, if when I get in control and I see you show up, I should click add to stream. Then that will let you back in. But sometimes I'm just rambling and ranting. So you think I can't do 20 minutes on something all by myself? I can. And nope. He's still frozen. Or he's thinking. He's thinking very hard. I made such great points. I've got him frozen in thought. I froze him so bad. He's just going to sit there. Don't worry, everybody. Greg will be back here in just a little bit. I'm going to kick him out again. And what else? The NCAA is about the biggest thing that I paid attention to this weekend. The NCAA basketball for the first time in the history of the AP poll, the all top six teams lost. Big deal. It's the parity that is in basketball, and like we spent most of the time talking about your power conferences and your blue blood teams. We didn't touch almost at all on any of the mid majors and these low conference teams and stuff like that. It's a shame that we don't know a little bit more about them because we are all going to learn about them here in just a couple of weeks. Tournament season is here. Your ESPN is going to start carrying your Big Skies and your MEAC tournaments, and there's going to be some great basketball to watch. That's those early season or early season. Early tournaments of your mid majors and your lower conferences, a lot of fun. That's what these kids. That's what they're all playing for. It's getting to see these kids and getting to see them win and celebrate and so much. Because if you're playing at Jackson State, your chances of going to the pros are almost none. So cutting down the nets in your conference tournament and getting on ESPN, CBS, whoever's going to come to your school to see your reaction. That is your time to shine. So, man, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I love tournament season. This is it's one last thing here before I close on as I'm really just making it about me because Greg can't get working internet. So one of the other things. This is the time of year that I met my wife, so it's always a special time for us. We met on NCAA selection weekend, so it's a great fun thing for us we love watching that, and when we'll sit down and we'll watch we watch tournament games like Matt. It's one of our favorite things probably to do together now in the 20 plus years that her and I have been together. The 20 plus years that she has put up with me is probably the best way to put it. But no, and hey, my kids have really gotten into it as well. One of the crazy things when it comes, I will pick my bracket. And if I'm watching a 5-12 and I have the 5 winning, I'm still rooting for that number 12. I root against myself. I root for an upset. I root for an upset in every single NCAA tournament game. It's it's a fun. It's an amazing time. I mean, when you've got basketball on from about noon until 1 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just absolutely amazing. Absolutely a ton of fun. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed your time with us here this week. I hope you enjoyed all my rambling, because I've got a whole lot more of it that I'm going to be bringing to you over on our YouTube channel. Make sure that you've got yourself over there. You've subscribed. You've liked our channel. You've got your notifications turned on. Things are really happening. With us on YouTube, we're going to and so the more of you that come, the more we're gonna do for you. So, everyone, I have had a wonderful time in here tonight, and because I got to talk about me way more than I got to talk about Greg. So no, I love it. Greg's a long time buddy. It's this stuff is a blast. We're having a blast. I hope everyone is having as much fun out there with us. So, everyone, I hope you tune into us again next week. So, for Greg, for America's most adorable co-host, this is Motion Sports, the show, signing off. Have a good week.